just a matter of time. Masochists I tend to pretend to befriend you when no one else is watching. If only you could see through these mirrors that surround you. I'd fertile garden of lies, growing to placate you, sprouting through the cracked earth. You might realize, I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. And I have another waiting just for you. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. Fearful that you're caught on, have to turn the charm on, get you back on my good side. Slither like a serpent, bow my head to repent. You fall for it every time. This has become my favorite game. Controlling the pieces that keep you sane. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. And I have another lined up just for you. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. Feels like I need you, know that I'll deceive you. It's just a matter of time. Masochists I tend to pretend to befriend you when no one else is watching. If only you could see through these mirrors that surround you. I'd fertile garden of lies, growing to placate you, sprouting through the cracked earth. You might realize, I know that you'll.
Hello everybody, I am Hoardergamer and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. Good to see you all. We're going to talk about comic books, we're going to talk about games as well as toys, and then the very future of comics, all the way to 1 week from today. So we're going to cover all of that. We're going to start with a comic book review. 1 second here, let me just so no one forgets what show this is. Hoarder's Comic Flex right there. Okay, So, the first comic book review today is Nemesis Reloaded. Now, this book is hot. Okay? My shop orders excess of comics. They usually are available, even hot books, for like 5 days, 7 days a week. They'll have quite a few copies, unlike like smaller comic shops. Shout out to Lost World of Wonders. But Nemesis Reloaded, like, gone almost immediately. So I had to wait for a reprint. So we're actually going to be doing issue 1, and the exact same day issue 1 reprint came out, issue 2 came out. If you don't know what Nemesis is about, basically imagine Bruce Wayne, but imagine him as a monster who goes around in an all-white outfit. If you're talking usually about like superheroes and stuff like that, that's like the idea of the good guy or whatever. Well, he shoots and stabs, and he is like terrifying. In Nemesis Reloaded, he's going around and he's finding all the gang members, and he's finding their leaders of all the different organized crime outfits in the city he's in. So he gets them all together, he puts them in an empty swimming pool, and they're like, hey, what's going on here? As they wake up, and find out that they're standing there with these crazy looking things on their head. Nemesis tells them, hey, now you're going to go and kill everyone in here, and the last person that survives gets to live. If you don't do this, I'm going to blow your heads off because there's bombs attached to your head. Okay? So that happens, and unbeknownst to them, watching from like a two-way mirror or whatever, are the second in command of all these organized crime outfits. And Nemesis is like, let me make you a deal. You work for me now, you're going to do as I say, type of thing. So then this one guy who's like killed everyone else and survived, he's like, I won. And Nemesis is like, yes, you did, and shoots him dead. He is screwed up. And all of it has to do with a $100 million heist and what he's going to use that money for. And you find out in the final page of the comic. I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But my God, the level of violence, the cruelty, Nemesis is intense. Again, it's like evil Batman. Someone had Bruce Wayne's money, connections, and, training and all that. But if they were terribly, monstrously evil, that's what Nemesis basically is. And it's by Mark Millar. So that's why it was so crazily popular. I knew it would be popular, but not so much that like issue 1 would sell out almost immediately everywhere. So, but yeah, this is issue 1. I'll be reading issue 2. And what I'll probably do then is, I usually don't do this like back to back, but I guess it's not back to back because I'm not going to review issue 2 fully. I'll probably review issue 3. And at that point, I'll give a little bit of information on issue 2. But yeah, this is really good. It's that crazy, insane, ultra-violent type of book you're looking forward to from Mark Millar. I'm interested to see where it goes. I think it's only 4 or 6 issues, though. I think it's short. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. And if you're into a hyper-violent, crazy take on someone like Batman, then I highly recommend this. And so, tonight on this episode, that's not the only Batman we'll have. We have a little more Batman a little bit later when we decide to toy around. Right now, though, it's time for us to talk about video games and video game news that has happened this week. So, first off, I apologize. We have some things that are definite, some things that are conjecture based on things I've seen through tweets as well as posts on Reddit, okay? And I will fully explain that. Like, I'm not going to have people thinking things that aren't true or anything like that. So, First off, we know that Diablo 4 is going to be at IGN Fan Fest, and apparently it's going to be there on Saturday. So that's exciting. It's almost a definite that the beta or early access info will come out at that point. And everyone looking forward to Diablo 4, including this person here, is looking forward to actually getting their hands on the beta, seeing what it's like. Beta early access, it's using different terms, I think. But yeah, the game is coming out in June. I believe early release is June 2nd, I think, and then June 6th. So 6/6 of 2003, because it's Diablo. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I definitely want to try out that beta. My plan right now is to do a druid playthrough. This game is supposed to be like 2 or 3 times larger than Diablo 3, with a lot to explore, a lot of like extra things to do, including renown, which it actually affects all your characters. And I believe you earn it once. So like when they do like DLC or expansions or something, whatever they're going to do with that, they'll probably add more renown then, because I guess it's the only way to get more once you have it all. So here's where things get crazy though, everybody. Last week they showed the Necromancer, which is the class that uses the dead and basically builds an army from them. They showed a Necromancer at a dance party in a cemetery with like a DJ. And there was like no information, just a tweet. Well, think back to the Game Awards in December of 2022, where Halsey performed her song Lilith for the Diablo 4 presentation. Now, this is important. The devs said that this is the beginning of a basically promotional relationship or whatever with Halsey. So my thought is that was a little bit of a video, a setup for either a new Halsey single or Halsey performing a song, and that's basically about Diablo 4 or something like that. So I think there could be some Halsey information or Halsey performance soon based on that. Okay, now, as everyone knows, Hogwarts Legacy pre-orders sold incredibly well. The game's selling incredibly well. But right now, the biggest I think game that's actually pre-ordered and selling well. Get ready for this, everybody. Metroid Prime Remastered. So a lot of people were a little worried and expecting, a cheap and dirty remaster of Metroid Prime, just basically coming out and Nintendo being like, here, this is all you have, go for it. But apparently Retro Studios got a lot of time and made an awesome remaster that almost seems more like a remake if you're looking at all the assets and the graphic quality and everything like that. It looks excellent. And I believe it's February 22nd. The physical release is available to be purchased. Right now you can get it digital. In fact, it was like last Thursday or whatever, it was available digital on the eStore, the Nintendo eShop. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to get a physical copy because I love Metroid. I love that franchise. And yeah, the time and effort that they put into this and the money they got to do this, because it looks really good, is impressive. And I would love to see more remasters like this and less remasters than Mario 64. Because really, that could have been its own physical release, just Mario 64, if it was like a full remaster quality or full remake quality. Because it came off as, I don't know, it wasn't the level of quality I expected from a game that's as popular and as important as Super Mario 64. Okay, now, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. News soon. Why do I say news soon? Because the game is set to come out May 26th, everybody. May 26th. Now, speculation, and this is born true in the past, is that for whatever reason, WB Games is afraid to market more than one game at a time. They marketed Hogwarts Legacy after Gotham Knights. They marketed Gotham Knights after whatever game came out before that from WB Games. So, for whatever reason, that's how they do things. Square Enix, I've said before, they'll market 5 or 6 games at a time. Most companies will. Capcom probably about 3 or 4. Because like what? They've got Resident Evil 4 Remake. They've got Street Fighter 6. And I'm sure there's like 2 or 3 other things coming out from them. So yeah, they're not afraid to, have multiple games being talked about. But yeah, for whatever reason, WB Games is. So now that Hogwarts Legacy is finally out, selling incredibly well, they're going to move attention to games that aren't out yet, and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. One of 2 things are going to happen. We're very, very soon going to find out, a deep dive. We're going to maybe, my guess right now is a Sony event, everybody. Sony seems to have the promotional relationship with Warner Brother Games. They did for Hogwarts Legacy, including I think an hour-long mission that's exclusive to the PlayStation. So there's no reason to think Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League wouldn't have something similar. Not necessarily another hour-long mission, but, that they have the promotional deal with, WB has a promotional deal with Sony. So, there's taught to be a state of play next week. Some point in February or early March, as early as possibly next week. And I would fully expect Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League to be there. And I'm sure we'll get a deep dive, a trailer. At the worst, it would be a postponement. But what we've been seeing from postponements recently is a month or 2. So hopefully that won't happen. And I think if they actually get on it, if they do it next week, right, they'll have enough time for pre-orders. Keep in mind, this is a AAA game. They want to have at least a number of months for pre-orders. Hogwarts Legacy, I think, only had 3 or 4 months for pre-orders. So, yeah. Definitely expect some Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League news soon. Also, this was surprising. Monolith is making noise, involving hiring, and involving their Wonder Woman game. So the first part was a recruiting tweet that came out, I think, the 7th of February, and it showed a little bit of picture of Wonder Woman's armor, and it talked about one of the positions there, and here's the link to basically come and join us, so you can kind of like a recruiting thing. Today they had a tweet that didn't have that link in it, that talked about what it's like to work with a group of people, and basically it sounded specifically on the Wonder Woman game. So, I mean, honestly, I don't expect that game till next year. I'd love it if it came out this year, but, I can't see WB Games wanting to compete with Spider-Man. Because if you're looking at Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League coming out May 26th, right? Then you're looking at Spider-Man 2, probably anywhere between September and November. Where would that even leave Wonder Woman if it could come out in 2023? Unless it's further along than we think, but I doubt that. I'm guessing a 2024 game for that. Just like with Wolverine, I'm guessing 2024, sadly, possibly 2025. We don't know how long they are in development, When they showed the awesome trailer, that could have been 6 months or a year in development. That's not a long time. Big AAA games now take 5 or 6 years of development time. That's normal now, especially with the new consoles. Well, everybody, I believe that's all the video gaming news I have, except for, I think, PSVR, I believe, comes out next week. I think that's cool. It worries me, though, because you can get it easily. There's, unfortunately, an issue where a new console or something comes out, and you can just get it willy-nilly. When the investors see that, when the analysts see that, the company looks at the device differently. They look at the machine, the console, whatever it is, differently. So honestly, that should worry people for how much they're going to put into PSVR 2. How much Sony is invested in it, and, you know, how long they're really going to support it. So everybody, I would just keep that in the back of your head if you're thinking about getting it. Also, I think the price point was lunacy. When your console's $500 and you're charging more than your console for the... And I don't care how powerful it is. I'm just talking about a point of sanity, basically. Do not charge more for your peripheral than your actual console. They could have dumbed it down a little bit. They could have found some way. They could have had that come in at like $450. You know, maybe even $400. But no, they decided to make it go past $500 and make it go to $550, which I think was crazy for a peripheral. No matter how powerful it is, I don't know. I'm interested to see how that all goes, though. For me, there was no game where I felt I needed to have it immediately. There was nothing where I was like, oh, I need PSVR 2. I've got to play this. I feel like it's going to be a pretty cool experience for Horizon Zero Dawn with what they're doing there. But, like, I'm expecting it to be like 6 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. These games usually are not lengthy. They're usually not, they're more like experiences than games at this point. Even the really cool Star Wars trilogy that came out, I think, is only like 3 or 4 hours total. One of my favorite VR games or experiences was the Batman Arkham VR, and that was only like 90 minutes, my first playthrough. So while it was really cool, it's really, really short too. So... okay, now we are actually done talking about video games. It is time for us to toy around. And first off, we are going to toy around with The Simpsons. Hold on, we need reverb for that. The Simpsons. Okay, everybody, look at this insanity. The Devil Flanders. Radioactive Man, Homer in a Moo-Moo, Dredrick Tatum. Okay, this is series 4 of, I believe that they're called the Super 7 Ultimate Toys. Now, these are really neat, and they take some of the most beloved characters, and they go nuts with accessories and extras and an absurd amount of detail. I believe all 3 of these figures have 3 heads with different profiles on each, of course. And then, like, Homer with the Moo-Moo comes with the drinking bird. He comes with the necklace he wears. If you notice, he also is wearing the cape. Like, they do a phenomenal job on the detail. One thing to keep in mind, though, for whatever reason, this series of figures, it's like 6 months to a year behind on some of them. So I'm sure part of it had to do with COVID when they were doing series 1. But I have a friend that ordered Hank Scorpio, the James Bond type of villain character in that amazing Simpsons episode. Comes with the jetpack and almost all of this other really awesome stuff. It's great. My friend ordered that. It's been now, I want to say, a year to a year and a half after he ordered it and still didn't get it yet. So who knows how exactly or when these will ship, but I love the sculpts. I'm tempted as hell on that Homer and the Moo-Moo. I think that's really a great looking figure. They are not cheap. Like, if these were in the $20 range, I would probably get all 4 of them. But here's the thing, though. These are like $54.99 a piece. So for me, Homer and the Moo Moo would probably be the one I would get. Although I'd be really, really tempted to with that Devil Flanders. It's a really great take on Devil Flanders. But yeah. And the accessories they come with are nuts. The figures have been an odd choice, though. They've done Mo the Bartender, Itchy and Scratchy, but not the ones you're thinking of. The robots, which basically are taller than the other figures. It's crazy. They're huge. And then, Kodos and Kang. Oh, man. I'm trying to remember the name of that little kid. The one that has a crush on Lisa. Ralph Wiggum. Ralph Wiggum. So, like, it's this really odd mix of characters, but there's no regular Bart, Lisa, Maggie, or Homer, or Marge. Like, there aren't, you can't have the regular Simpsons. There's a Bart Man. There's Homer and the Moo Moo. There's Astronaut Homer. But, like, they don't have the base characters. And I think they're going for really hardcore fans here with a little bit more of the obscure or, like, you know, one episode characters. But yeah. I will send this picture back to Springfield. Next up, we have something crazy. Crazy, everybody. Batman. Batman 89. Look at the detail on his face. Look at the multiple faces he comes with. Look at that insane ass outfit. The detail, the extras, the weapons, the grapple gun. Insane. Absolutely insane. So I believe this retails at $279. It's made by Hot Toys and available in the US through Sideshow Collectibles. I believe Sideshow has an exclusive to sell Hot Toys in the US. Yeah, $279, or a version that has the statue, the gargoyle from the end of the Batman 89 movie, and that's, I believe, $350. So yes, pricey. But I think the level of detail and the quality is insane. Hot Toys has been known as, like, making some of the coolest licensed toys out there. And while this is what I would definitely call pricey, if not expensive, wait till I show you the next item. I'm sending Batman back to Gotham. Now let me show you what else I have to show you. What is Batman without his Batmobile? I'm about to blow your minds, everybody. Get ready. Okay. This is absolutely gorgeous. One of the most amazing toys I've seen in my entire life. Astonishing. The level of detail. Like, this is the best Batmobile I have ever seen. It is also prohibitively expensive. This Batmobile is $715. I kid you not, it's $715. You're probably wondering why it's so expensive. Well, it's the level of detail that Hot Toys does. There's, like, actual lights and everything like that. I don't know if it has sounds, but it has a number of lights. The detail's nearly perfect. You can see inside the cockpit, all of that. Well, here's the thing, too. It's 1/6 scale. The figure of Batman that fits inside this is 12 inches tall. Usually, like, if you buy the Batmobile with a Batman figure that's going to fit in it, you got, like, a G.I. Joe size figure of 3 3/4 inches, and then the Batmobile that they'll go inside. They're usually not 12-inch figures. This Batmobile is massive. This thing is gigantic. Like crazy. But yeah, this is also available through Hot Toys. And I mean, I figured if I showed Batman, I needed to show the Batmobile. But again, this thing is prohibitively expensive at $715. I'm going to send it back to the Batcave. Maybe it was involved with an accident with like the Joker or Riddler and it needs repairs. So that's why I sent it back to the Batcave. Now, something affordable that already sold out. This sold out today, everybody. Marvel Legends from the Hawkeye TV show, the Tracksuit Mafia. One figure, 3 members of the Tracksuit Mafia. Look at that. Look at that craziness. So Target exclusive was $27.99. And yeah, you get the 3 heads. You get that Molotov cocktail, which looks really good. They did a really good job in that Molotov cocktail. An excellent likeness of the main member of the Tracksuit Mafia. I think it was it Echo's brother or more like kind of sort of brother? I'm not exactly sure on that, but yeah, I think that's an excellent looking figure, and it was a Target exclusive. It's already sold out. Now that's pre-orders. I'm sure they'll get more for the stores, but what a bizarre decision to do a Tracksuit Mafia figure. I think that's why so many people ran and ordered it, because they were like, oh my god, this is nuts. And also because it was a Target exclusive. But yeah, not kidding, that Molotov cocktail is an excellent looking accessory for any toy. So, I'm going to send this back to New York. Okay, everybody. We are done toying around for today. Next up, we are going to look into the future of comic books. The very near future of comic books, all the way to 1 week from today. First up, the Immoral X-Men. Not a misprint, not the Immortal X-Men, the Immoral X-Men. Basically, Sins of Sinister is a current crossover going on with Marvel with a number of books. Immortal X-Men, now Immoral X-Men. Nightcrawlers #1, which we have a review coming for later tonight. And Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, issue 1, which was reviewed last week. This is basically billed as a knockdown, drag-out fight between Emma Frost and Mr. Sinister. Written by Kieran Gillen. So I expect this to be really, really good. Also, these books are selling like lunacy, like crazy. It's a Marvel book, but they can't keep them on the shelves for more than a day. So if you want this, go to your local comic shop as soon as you can. Like usually the stores seem to open at 11 or noon on comic day. And depending on the shop near you, that's either going to be Tuesday and Wednesday or just Wednesday if they want to have less, staffing for comic book releases. Because it's difficult to have full comic book staffing for 2 days than it used to be when it was just, always one day, Wednesdays. DC decided their books come out on Tuesdays now. And that kind of changed up everything. So, but most shops, just like mine, Lost World of Wonders, they put out their books on Wednesdays. Just to make things easier for the purchasers. Otherwise, if you like Marvel and DC, you'd have to go to the comic book shop twice a week. Which is kind of, inconvenient. not just for employees, but also for the shops themselves. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, I found out that Nightcrawlers nearly sold out. I think now it is sold out, I think. And last week, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, my friend tried to get a copy and it was sold out. Had to go to a different comic shop. So, Immoral X-Men. Yeah, Mr. Sinister's been naughty. He deserves everything that Emma Frost could possibly do to him. Okay, everybody. This is one of the Batman One Bad Day series. Clayface #1. Written by two of the hottest writers currently, the writing team of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig. They currently do one of the Captain America books, as well as the excellent Star Trek book from IDW. And a number of many, many other books. I'm very much looking forward to this. The story of Clayface, this actor who, through vanity and, you know, just hubris, destroyed himself. And he's like a tragic character. Like, you know, they did the movie Joker. I think it came out like in 2019 or so. I always felt that like two other villains would be perfect for that type of treatment, like their own movies. And it was Mr. Freeze and Clayface. I feel both of those villains would be phenomenal for that type of a project. So maybe WB will do that. Who knows? But I think if you're going to do more villain-based movies, I would even go so far as to say the ventriloquist. And I would be tempted to have, like, my fan casting for that would be Larry David. Because I can't see Larry David wanting to do anything superhero related. But he'd be perfect, I think, as Albert Wesker. But yeah, this should be excellent. My plan is to review this next week. I would also like to review Immoral X-Men #1, but keep in mind this is going to be between 48 and 60 some pages. This is actually like bound like a thin soft cover book, not like a normal comic. So I might just only be able to review this, but it should be really good, and that writing team is exciting, as is the villain. So none of these books have been bad. Like, I would say of the 4 or 5 that are already out, there might be like 1 or 2 that are just really good and not great, and the other 3 are like freaking great. Like, this has been an awesome series for DC. So much so that I think they're actually releasing hardcover versions of each book, which that's kind of unheard of, but yeah. Clayface, One Bad Day. And finally, everybody, as I've said before, I almost get sick of saying it. I say it so often. When there's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck. Another David Nakayama cover, Darkwing Duck and Rubber Ducks. A Quackerjack story. And possibly the idea that he's so overprotective of Gosling, he wants to give up being a superhero altogether. And that might be the actual story arc for the series. The only issue I had with issue 1 was that it didn't seem to set up any kind of story arc at all. And I was expecting something along the line of the DuckTales reboot, where, you know, there's this really great story arc each season. And basically what I got was a fantastic episode of Darkwing Duck. And again, that's nothing to be upset about. But, like, excitement and interest as an adult reading something like this, it's going to be a little limited if it's just episodic and nothing has any connection to anything else. But we get Quackerjack in this issue, and issue 1 was great. So I'm expecting issue 2 to be really good too. And maybe, yes, maybe this will actually start some sort of a story arc. Okay. I'm going to send this back to Saint Canard. Okay, everybody. Now it is time to prime the pump. As I mention every week, and everyone is probably groaning, I'm not playing a ghost piano. I'm priming the pump. I mean, it looks like a piano. Maybe I'm not doing it correctly. Maybe I should be like this, more like that. But anyway, if you have ideas for like toy lines for me to talk about, any comic books you want me to talk about, specific games or things like that, let me know. Definitely put that into either chat or, you know, a comment if you're like not watching this live. I'd appreciate it. And without further ado, we have our second review of the evening. Nightcrawlers #1. As I mentioned earlier, Nathaniel Essex, also known as Mr. Sinister, has been naughty. If you've been following the whole Krakoa storyline / soap opera, basically mutants are immortal and can't die. Well, the procedure that would basically bring a mutant back to life was corrupted by Mr. Sinister, and a version of Mr. Sinister was put into every mutant. And now, 10 years later, Mr. Sinister is trying to enact his grand plan, and we're not quite sure exactly what's going on with the man himself. Basically, he tried to get to his lab in issue 1 of Sins of Sinister, and his lab was gone. And it seems like he might be trapped in the place where his lab used to be. Well, in Nightcrawlers, you find out what happened to that lab. It was basically teleported away. You also find out he has a killer squad of Nightcrawlers, including Wagnerine. I'm sorry, I think it's Wagner. I think it's Wagnerine. That would be Wolverine with Kurt Wagner. Or Wagner. Yeah, this is crazy. And Banshee uses his scream. I'm a little confused though, because this Banshee looks like Ghost Rider, so I have to do some research. I don't know if he's now a Spirit of Vengeance, because the Spirits of Vengeance are mentioned real briefly, and it says they've disappeared. They're nowhere to be seen or whatever. But basically he found out that his Banshee scream is able to counteract the mental programming the Nightcrawlers had, and basically the good mutants, the ones that are trying to stop Sinister, have basically gotten control over his Death Squad, including Wagnerine and Wallcrawler, which is Kurt Wagner meets Spider-Man. Meanwhile, we find out that the real Kurt Wagner, Wolverine, oh my god, Nightcrawler, is this bizarre, mutated looking, almost dragon thing that's chained to a wall. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. You do have to read it carefully. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things they expect you just to know. Just like the Krakoa story arcs, there's parts where it's, you know, paragraphs and explaining things and ideas that take place in this world. So it definitely is an undertaking. It'll take you probably a little longer to read this than an average comic book. I'd say just about like maybe 5 or 10 minutes more, but yeah, it's really good. And so far I've really enjoyed Sins of Sinister. I think it's been awesome. And Immoral X-Men, I'm very much looking forward to, because that should be what Sinister is currently up to now, or you know, the 10 years later type of thing. And yeah. If you're a fan of Kieran Gillen or L. Ewing, I definitely recommend checking out the Sins of Sinister series. It's very good. I'm going to send this back to Araco, which really isn't Araco anymore. So, everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Feel free to comment, put a like. Thank you. Thank you. Now, a little bit of information. First, I want to thank Doomkiller HD and Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow their channel again. Thank you. Plus, I do believe that Doomkiller HD himself is actually hosting our block party this week. And it's a little premature, so I can't say what the block party plans are for the next couple weeks, but they're going to be good. They're going to be really good. Also, I think we do have our weekly wrap-up, I think, on Saturday. So that should be awesome. That's basically gaming information, TV, comics, you name it. Movies. Oh, I'm pretty sure Ant-Man will be a topic. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. And let's see what else. Oh, and if you wanted to watch me, I'm Hoardergamer, twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. Currently, I am doing some Hogwarts Legacy, but I will warn you up front. Basically, I also play the game as well as talk about J.K. Rowling, turfism, things like that are very important. Also, the way that the transgender community has been seen recently by the far right as a soft target, and why the far right is going against them. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there's like some learning and some gaming, I guess. And the title for the streams are Harry Potter and the Turf of Ignorance. So that's what I'm going with. Also, I'm looking forward to Octopath Traveler 2. I might get back into, well, I'm pretty certain I'll get back into Destiny 2, because I'm looking forward to Lightfall. But, more than anything, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which comes out in May. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is April now. Really looking forward to those. Definitely going to stream those. And there's always some Diablo on my stream, so... Again, thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.